I want to thank you all for coming today. To our medical personnel, operations staff who continue to work to give us a chance to go out and play and practice and give us the opportunity to compete each week. Like I said before, we're building a football team, and it's a process. It's a process-driven culture, and as I mentioned earlier this week, we need to play complementary football, and we have to do it for 4 quarters. And it's crystal clear. It was crystal clear today. What we've been talking about and what we're striving for. In the first half, we played complementary football. We did offense, defense, and special teams. Guys playing hard. We had execution, and we were able to have success. Okay? In the second half, we did not do that. Okay, we weren't able to really do anything on offense. Defensively, we gave up plays. And then on special teams, we gave up a touchdown, which was a huge momentum play, and was a huge play in the game. And so, but like I told our players, when we went into this week and at the hotel before the game and in the locker room before the game, I told them, I said, listen, all we're asking you to do, all I want you to do is go out there and play as hard as you possibly can, be as physical as you possibly can, and trust your training and execute. And do it for 60 minutes, 4 quarters in the game. And play the next play and don't look at the scoreboard. That's what we're asking you to do, okay? And I felt like they played hard. But I told them, I said, but that's not a moral victory. It's not a moral victory, but it just goes to show you that, what we're capable of doing. And going into the game, I felt like we had a team that could win this game. At halftime, I felt like we had a team that could win the game. I felt good about our football team and about what we could do. And after the game, I felt the same way about this football team. I feel that we can do some good things and that we can win some games and that we have a bright future and that we continue to hammer the process, that we're going to get there and we're going to continue to recruit, like maniacs, to be able to improve and help our team, but it's very disappointing locker room, very disappointing coaching staff, but there's no lack of motivation right now. For us, we just need to figure out, hopefully we'll find out pretty soon who we play next so we can get ready. But and give Penn State credit. They're well coached. They have some good players, and they did what they needed to do in the second half to come back and to close the game out. So, my hat goes off to Coach Franklin, his staff, and their team. They beat us today. So with that, I'll open up for questions.
Our first question is from Matt Charbonneau with the Detroit News.
Mel, I'm wondering if emotionally a game like this is tougher to handle when for a half you play like you're the better team, you're kind of in control, and then you just can't sustain it in the second half. Is it tougher or more frustrating emotionally to have a game like that where you feel like it's all going right and then it just doesn't keep going?
No, I mean it's frustrating anytime I wouldn't use the word frustration. It's disappointing. You can't really afford to get frustrated because frustrated doesn't really do anything for you. I mean, there's no production out of it. It's just more of, there's a disappointment of we didn't get it done and we know what we needed to do to get it done. But I've been doing this. This is my 24th year coaching. I've coached well over 300 games, and there's no such thing as a safe lead, especially in college football. We all know you got to play for 60 minutes. You got to play for 4 quarters. And that was our mentality. At halftime, it's 0-0. We got to go out here and start fast. We talk about the 10 10 minutes to win. The 5 minutes before the half, okay, and the 5 minutes after the half. A lot of games are won and lost in that 10-minute span. And we really focused on that. In that 5 minutes before the half, we felt like we did some good things. The 5 minutes after the half, we didn't. And, that was a huge factor in the game, but like I said, it doesn't take the win out of the sales. I mean, if you're a competitor, okay, you're just more motivated. You're more motivated. I mean, if you do some good things, you want to do more good things. So how do we do more good things? Well, we got to go back to work. So the motivation and the drive and the determination and the grit is there. And that's how, and those things is what's going to get our program turned in the direction it needs to go. We're trying to turn our program.
One other quick thing offensively in the second, other than that first drive, you weren't really able to sustain drives. Could you notice anything from the sideline that was different in that second half? Was it execution, do you think? What changed in the second half to keep you from being able to sustain some of those drives?
It was absolutely execution. From our standpoint, we see obviously, I think they were maybe a little more aggressive, but there was plays we made, and we still made plays in the second half. We just weren't able to make them on a consistent basis. So give them credit. They played better. Penn State played better in the second half than we did. But you turn on the film, it's always execution. Very rarely do you just get overwhelmed by someone else's talent. I don't think it was that. But again, I got to pull out the laptop on the plane, and we got to take a look at it and see exactly what it was, and we got to see what we can do to help them, help our guys, and put them in better position. And then, like I told them in the locker room just now, and they got to do what they got to do as players, to internalize these things and figure out what they need to do, how we make these corrections, how we move forward, this week, to get better. And I really believe these guys are gonna do that. I know this team a lot better than I knew them months ago when we started. Okay, and these guys they are coachable. They will listen and they will work. They will work. They take coaching. Okay, and that's what we need, and we'll figure out a way to get it done.
Our next question will go to Chris Solari with the Detroit Free Press.
Mel, I know without having seen the tape yet, I wonder if you could assess Peyton's day, kind of the two-half performance there, and what his week was like, and what Rocky's status is at this point.
Yeah, I really need to see the tape before I can start to really just break down the quarterback's performance, because there's so many things that go into a play, especially in the passing game, in terms of the protection, what coverage do we run the proper route, do you read it out correctly, all those types of things, but I can tell you that he was poised, and that he seemed to be he wasn't rattled, and he was into the game, and he was aware, the entire game, start to finish. Even when we started slow, he was still, he was there, and that's good to see. He had a good look in his eye, and he was into the game. Rocky, he'll be ready when he's ready.
As a follow, as a completely different follow, there was a penalty that you took on 3rd and 7 that ended up being, the field position ended up leading to that first touchdown. I guess, was that the thought on taking that penalty when they were short? I kind of wanted to see if you could walk through that. I'm
not sure.
It was the first right before the first touchdown. It was 3rd and 7, and you took a penalty. I think they were short of the sticks, on the play that Clifford ran out of bounds and got hurt right before the beginning of the second quarter?
Yeah, he said we took the penalty and moved him back.
Yes. Yes.
We're playing for field position.
Okay. That's what I wanted to check. Thanks.
Yes, sir.
All right, our next question is from Matt Wenzel at M Live.
Hey, Mel, we didn't see Jordan Simmons the last couple of weeks, and he comes back today, and I think that was the career high for him and as far as total yards and yards per carry. What did you see from him today in his ability? Because he looked like he was running the ball as good as he had all year.
Yeah, well, he's got good burst through the hole and acceleration, and that's what we need. He's got really good quickness, and when you hand him the ball, and there's a hole there, he's gonna hit it. And especially when you play good teams, those holes aren't open very long. So you got to get there. You got to get there. You got to hit it. He's runs with good pad level. He drives his legs, and he's been good with ball. He's been good with ball security. There was one there where I thought he popped it, and I think he stumbled. I thought he was going to go for 6. So, he did a good job when he was in there.
And I'm sorry.
Get healthy and get back.
You mentioned, getting to know your opponent soon. When do you anticipate finding out who you play next week? What have you been told about where the game will be possibly? And how do you guys, what are the next steps from there tomorrow?
Yeah, I really haven't been told anything. I was just asking that, just now, and, I don't know. So, we'll find out when we find out. And once we find out, then, there's a process of, in terms of quality control and things like that, and in preparation. So, we'll be on the phone today, and I'll be asking a lot of questions. We'll be making some calls, and we might not be able to narrow it down. We might not know tonight, but we might be able to narrow it down to, a couple, 3 or 4 teams, and then we have staff that we can just start working to break down those games and be in position to do that. So we're going to work as much as we can, even if we have to try to break down multiple teams, whatever it takes, because once we get the word on who we're going to play, then the clock starts ticking, and then we got to have a scouting report, and we got to have all the plays broken down to give our guys a chance. We got to find out what day we're going to play. We're going to have a short week, or we're going to have a normal week. So I haven't been told anything, but it doesn't matter. It's going to, at some point we'll get a date, we'll get a team, we'll get a date, and then we'll get ready to go.
No.
Our next question goes to Eli with the State News.
Hey, Mel, I wanted to ask about your wide receivers and kind of some of your skill positions on the offense. In the first half, they're able to make some plays. Ricky White's out with a couple injuries, but I want to ask, how optimistic are you in the future with a bunch of young guys like that who are able to make some plays? And then how do you develop some consistency so they can go drive to drive, half to half, and continue to have those type of games throughout an entire performance?
Yeah, we've been optimistic about our receiving crew all year, and we worked it to develop guys. I mean, like you see, Big Morgan, showed up today, and Montori has been out there. We've developed some more tight ends that can go out there and play. And so, and then Ricky's been out. At some point, he'll be back, and so we feel like we got some weapons out there. And we've been talking about this. I believe I mentioned this earlier in the week. I'm not sure if I have, but I talked to the team about it again today. How do you get consistency in performance? There's 4 levels of competency. I'm not going to go through all that and bore you guys with it, but there's 4 levels, and we're right in between like 3 and 4. And like that 3rd level of competency is that you're having success, but you're not exactly sure why. And then when if you're having success, you're doing some good things, but you're not exactly if you're not 100% sure why it's happening, then you can't repeat it. It's hard to repeat it, And so, we have some guys, or we're at a point where maybe we can do some good things, but we're not exactly sure why. And that's where we got to really drill down as players and coaches and make sure everyone understands this is why this play worked. This is why you were able to make this catch. This is why you were able to make this run. This is why you were able to make this block. This is why you were able to make this open field tackle. Okay. And then the fourth level of competency is that you know what to do, and you know why you're having success. Okay. You know why you're having success. And so then it's repeatable. It's repeatable and you can be consistent, but even at that, it's still not enough, because even if you know and you know why you still got to do it, and you got to do it every day. So, our team, is really, in, between level 3 and level 4 with different guys, and collectively as a team. And that's the state of our team right now. And that's where the rubber meets the road. And so we got to really grind and drill down and really be very, very detailed in our teaching. And our players have to be very detailed, in their learning, and very receptive and really internalize, what they're getting, so that we can have a clear understanding of how to be successful on a consistent basis, within our skill set, within our talent level, so, and then, like I said, we got to recruit like crazy, because we need to be able to have more competitive practices. The more good players you have in practice, the more competitive the practices are, and the more the practices become more like games, and then and ultimately you want your practices to be harder than the games. And then you have more good players to the mix, and then you build your team. And we have a better football team, So that's really where we are right now. That's how you become more consistent. A lot of it is mental. Some of it's physical. A lot of it is mental.
Thanks, Mel.
All right, we had time for 2 final questions. We'll start with Lindsey Huddleston and wrap up with Graham Couch. Lindsey.
Thank you, Mel. Tough outing today. Can you talk about Jalen Naylor? There was a play that there was a Penn State interception, but he ended up causing a fumble. It was a huge momentum shift. Can you talk about what that kind of play means for the program and what someone like Jalen is contributing to the program right now?
Yeah, it means a lot. Jalen is growing as a player, and he's actually becoming a leader, not just a playmaker, but he's starting to lead. He plays with confidence, and we can see he's not just a deep threat. He can make some intermediate catches with his hands and things like that. And then we talk about ball security all the time. We show them plays of our opponent, and every week we show them NFL takeaways and ball security issues. And we've been doing that all year. And we even went back and showed them when in 2002 when Maurice Claret, when Sean Taylor, God rest his soul, when he intercepted the ball and Maurice Claret went and took it, and when he took it back, that was a huge momentum play in the game. We showed them multiple plays of the great receiver that was from Alabama that plays with the Falcons, okay, where he on a consistent basis would be an interception. He would run guys down and take the ball back, strip the ball, so that's the mentality of, hey, go get it back, go hunt the ball down. And then on the other side of it, we're teaching our defensive players, when we do get the ball, you got to keep the ball high and tight and don't give it back to them, and so, that's just a sign of aggressiveness and a want-to factor, you know, like a care factor. What is your care factor, you know, on a takeaway like that? And his care factor, his want-to factor, you know, on a play like that is a 10. You know, and that's competing. That's what we're asking our guys to do. Play as hard as you can possibly play aggressively as you can possibly play, you know, and give it everything you got, and good things happen. You know, and so, you know, that was, you know, he's growing as a player. I really like him, and I like what he has to offer. I think he's got a bright future. We just got to keep chopping.
Great, thank you.
And our final question will go to Graham Couch.
Hey, Mel, I want to stay on Jalen quickly there. You've obviously been a defensive coordinator a lot of places. Is he reaching the point as a receiver where defenses will have to game plan much more around him? And what does that do for the rest of the offense if that starts to happen?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what some of these guys defensively, what they're thinking or how they see him as a player. I know when I talked to him during the game, you know, he said that he was getting a lot of soft coverage, you know, and so we were able to hit him underneath, you know, and then he was able to catch the ball, tight turn, you know, get some yards after the catch and things like that. He's got to be able to do that. He's got to be able to work underneath. And then, you know, we all know that, you know, that he can run by people as well. So, you know, maybe people are going to have to decide how they can play, how they're going to have to play him. Depends on who they have to match up against him. You know, if they got a first-round pick guy lined up over him, maybe they feel like they can handle him one-on-one, or they can play him however they want to play him. If they don't, they may feel like they have to do something else. It depends on who else we got on the field with them as well. You know.
I want to ask you also quickly about Peyton and what you were thinking with that offense as it was rolling there in the late first, second quarter. And you haven't seen your offense go like that for a bit. What's going through your mind when you're seeing it click for the first time in weeks?
Same thing as seeing practice. There's nothing that happens on the field that we don't see in practice. Even when Rocky was in there, I mean, there's no surprises. Even with like Trayvon, you know, I told, you know, the past couple weeks he's been coming on. I said, hey, I asked him last night, I said, we're going to put Harold Carmichael in the game. And they're like, everybody's like, yeah, coach, we're going to put Harold Carmichael in the game. And the reason why is because he had done some things in practice and he had his opportunity, you know. So, you know, the plays that we run in practice and are successful are the plays that we decide to run in the game. If those plays don't look good in practice, we don't call them, you know. So, you know, it's about execution, taking from the meeting room to the practice field and taking it to the game. Like I tell guys, 2 + 2 is 4. It's not going to change. So if we got competitive practices and they're giving us the same looks in practice in the games that they're giving us in practice, then why should it change? You know,
have you seen those sort of things in practice from Peyton before this past week, like earlier in the season? That sort of stretch of play and rhythm?
Yeah, he's improved and he's done some good things, you know, and like we had a competition for the spot, you know, and he's continued to get better and he's a competitor, you know, and so I wasn't surprised by anything that I saw out of him today, you know. It's you know, he can do some good things, you know. Each one of our quarterbacks, and I told those guys that early in the year, like during camp, you know, we had 4 guys on scholarship with Theo and Noah Kim. I say each one of you guys have some redeeming qualities, you know, and that's why you got here to Michigan State, and that's why you're on scholarship. So it's just a matter of developing and then competing, you know, and getting better. And then, you know, we'll see where that goes. And I told them we need everyone, you know. And so they all compete. They all want to play. You can only play one guy at a time. But, to Peyton's credit, he's continued to work, hard, to get to the point where he can go into the game and he can execute. And he got into a game earlier this year, and did a couple things that were decent. And I thought that he's progressed since then. He's developed since then. And Theo was the next man up today, and then Noah was behind him. So guys have to continue to take coaching, practice, compete, get better, because you never know when your opportunity is going to come. When your opportunity comes, then you want to be ready. You want to be ready to come through and get the job done. Now we didn't win today. Okay, we didn't win today. So there are some bright spots, but as a football team, we didn't get it done. So it wasn't good enough in any offense, defense, or special teams. It was just not good enough. Period. So we all need to get better.
All right, Coach, that's all the questions we have for you today. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for showing up. I appreciate you guys' questions. I appreciate your interest. Get our message out to our fans, and we'll figure out who we're gonna play. We'll get back to work. Thank you so much. Go Green.
All right, we're going to have a couple of Spartan student athletes here in a second. I believe Peyton Thorne will be our first.
See? Right there. Oh.
All right, thanks for joining us, Peyton. Got some questions for you. Our first question comes from Matt Charbonneau with the Detroit News.
Peyton, I just wanted to ask you about that first throw today. Obviously goes as an interception, but you guys get it back on kind of a crazy play. Did that almost kind of help settle you down a little bit, just kind of get that out of the way as your first start and kind of go from there a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, you can't be throwing interceptions early in the game like that. You can't be throwing interceptions at all. But it was a good job by my teammates to track the guy down and whoever punched the ball out, and then we were able to recover it. So that was huge to get that ball back, because we talk about turnovers nonstop and we can't turn the ball over. So, yeah, I mean, I should have made a little bit better of a decision there. I thought the guy made a pretty good play, and I thought we did a really good job punching it out and getting back on it. That was big.
And then obviously things start rolling there as the half goes. You guys score on 3 straight possessions. How did you feel? I mean, you looked really comfortable out there. Did you feel like I'm in a pretty good rhythm here? And just how did that feel overall offensively for you guys?
Yeah, I think it started with us running the ball. We came out on that first scoring drive and we ran it really well. I think that starts the whole offense. If we can get yards on the ground, then that sets up everything else. And then I thought that we were all in a pretty good rhythm. I really liked the plays we were running, and I liked how we were executing. Unfortunately, we didn't carry that over into the second half at all. So we got to be better at keeping it going.
Our next question will go to Chris Solari with the Detroit Free Press.
Peyton, along those lines, the diversity of receivers that you used today, obviously Trayvon Morgan gets his first catch. You had a number of guys that you were throwing to, Dotson as well. Was that how much of that was a concerted effort, or how much of that was maybe just seeing the field? And how did you feel you saw the field in your first start?
Yeah, I thought those guys stepped in and did a good job. I've been working with Trayvon for a while now. Last year, he was injured the whole year last year, so he didn't get to be on the scout team with us. And we're really excited to have him back. And I thought he made a really good catch on the touchdown. And we've been, he's been really working in practice. And you got to do it in practice before you can do it on Saturdays and before the coaches trust to put you out there. So credit to him for working the way he has. And I thought Dotson did some nice things today too. It was nice to find him a couple times, but everyone's got to be ready and everyone's got to be locked in and ready to go. So I thought those guys were ready, and I was excited to get them in the mix for sure.
As a follower, did you happen to see what happened with Carrick on that one play backfield?
I did not. I saw them both go to the ground at the very end, but I don't know what started that. I don't know what caused that or anything. I didn't know who was on at first, and then they made the call, so I'm not sure on that one.
Thanks, man.
Our next question will go to Matt Wenzel with M Live.
Hey, Peyton, I was wondering, when did you find out you were starting this week?
In the middle of the week, somewhere around Tuesday or Wednesday, I believe.
We saw Rocky on the sideline today. Was there any conversations between you two during the game, before the game that,
Yeah, we had a couple conversations during the game, and that was about it.
Thanks.
All right, our next question will go to Stephen Brooks.
Hey, Peyton. Obviously, we've seen you a couple of times this year, but this is your first time playing with a 0-0 scoreboard, a fresh start and everything. You were sort of able to put your fingerprints on the game early. How different was that for you as a quarterback with I'm not saying no pressure, but again, just the 0-0 circumstances, the fresh slate ahead of you?
Yeah, obviously it's a better scenario. And I think the best part of that is getting those reps during the week. And on Wednesday, I was able to get the reps with the first group and getting in sync with those guys, because in the past, I haven't been getting a ton of reps with those guys, and getting that going during the week helps a ton. And being able to talk to them about, what we're seeing and what I would like for them to do, and same thing for them to me. And I think that helped a lot. And obviously it being 0-0 was nice to start the game.
And I want to go back to that throw to Trayvon too. Obviously he's got some physical advantages. I mean, what were you seeing on that play? I think he was double covered pretty well, but obviously he's able to go up and get it. I mean, is that just a guy you can't really overshoot? And just specifically on that play, what were you seeing with him?
Yeah, it was a two-man route downfield, and I kind of saw the safety a little bit right as I was throwing it, and I thought that Trayvon might have had him beat deep. I really wasn't sure completely, but I just tried to put it over his shoulder for him in a place where he could make the catch, and fortunately he went and made a play, and I was excited to see that, and I thought it was a good catch. I really didn't see the whole catch. I don't know if he bobbled it or what, but I know he came down with it, and I was pretty excited about that.
Is that something you've seen from him in these practice reps, using that size to make plays like that?
Yeah, this week especially, he's made some nice plays, and I think that he's going to be a great player for us down the road, and obviously you guys saw it today. So I expect to keep working with him, and I think that that connection is going to grow.
Thank you.
All right, Peyton, that's all we have for you tonight. I know everybody's waiting on the buses for you guys to join them, so thank you.
Okay, thank you guys.
All right, and that's going to wrap us up today. Sorry, but Mel went 25 minutes and we're out of time. So appreciate it. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks, Matt.
Thank you.